BS just won't do. kaoticradio.com.
You're cruising on a motorcycle through another dimension and time. A dimension not only of beer and rock and roll, but of twisted minds and sexy women. A wild journey, a crazy imagination that has no boundaries. There's a warning, a sign up ahead. Your next stop. The Zig Zone. The Zig Zone. The Zig Zone.
Oh man, it's another maniac Monday. It's funny, Mike, because I'm watching on the YouTube. It's a little. There's like a delay in time. And as soon as the intro came on, you're all like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and I'm supposedly hard of hearing.
I jump every time that happens.
Oh my! Well, you people keep fucking with these goddamn knobs, man. It's like, dude, you don't have to have everything all turned up just because you can't hear it the same way in your headset.
Yeah, that has a different knob.
Yeah, it doesn't mean people. When it's projected over the air, that's the whole thing. People
He's not blaming you, though, Mike.
It's different.
Mike didn't touch it.
They think that, well, no, I'm talking about whoever sits here in this chair thinks that whatever they hear of the headsets is what people are hearing. No, it's projected more when it's going over the air.
You let Gandalf handle that.
Oh, I mean, mine was like this. This is when I first came in.
Holy shit.
Right? I'm like, what the fuck, man? Stop messing with the goddamn knobs, man. Jesus.
Duct tape them.
Great white vagina, leave your fucking knob out of this, sir. Don't you mention one more goddamn thing about your knob.
I didn't even mention knobs.
You did earlier.
Hey,
Okay.
this is one show, and I've been actually contemplating this show for a while, and this is the Merica Show, and I was, of course, I got my, good buddy, Merica Mike. How's it going, Mike?
Really good, thanks.
Come on, man.
Okay.
This is not your first time here, Mike. let me not school you, son. Yeah, you see how that's growing on me, Mike? Hey, Gandalf. See, now you got me calling people son.
Son, don't act brand new, son.
Dude, we're not bringing that shit back. I tried already. It didn't work. We're not bringing it fucking back.
Oh, I never let it go.
Shit, son.
Shit, son. That's right.
But I got my good buddy, Merica Mike. And then, of course, thousands of miles underneath me, my buddy Jordy.
Well, I thought it was each other. How does just get one way now?
I'm just like kind of,
If we're going to be gay, it's got to be a two-way street. We're not just going one way here, buddy.
Yep, you got to switch off on power bottoms.
Wow. God damn it, Dave, you know too much about this. What the hell?
Right?
We're joking, are you?
Are we?
Is this the voice of experience?
So
this is why we can't hang out.
This is the gay hour.
This is why we can't have nice things on this station.
Oh my God, dude!
Except we got a lot of nice things in front of us now,
right? So this, I was actually this is the Merica Show, and I've been just doing a lot of thinking about this. And I'm
Oh yeah. That movie was funny.
That was, dude. I mean, it was genius to bring back, the string puppets.
Yeah.
Just genius. Anyways, doing all I have so much research that I did, and so much stuff, that especially with politicians and anti-gun, advocates and all this shit. It's absolutely impossible to do it in one show. So, Merica Mike, I have decided that I'm going to make this a segment, not a monthly segment, because then I would never have any guests.
What do you call me?
But
we can have 6 monthly segments.
Well, I mean, we have to, we deal in rock and roll too, and that's that's one of the key things.
Guns, drugs, and rock and roll, right?
Yep.
But during this time, because we talked about this. Well, we went shooting.
Yeah.
And that was about 3 months ago.
I'd say it's a while ago now.
And I'm just like, man, you know what? I just would love to do a show on that. After doing all kinds of research, I have so much shit stored in my computer, man. I probably ran out of storage space.
Delete some of the porn.
Come on.
Never.
Really? Can't do that.
What's more important, your gun or your gun?
Hey, did you guys hear that Lawrence Fishburne disowned his daughter because she's a porn star?
Nice.
I don't know how he
good old
found
Morpheus?
out. He was probably ran into porn or something like that. Oh shit, it's my daughter. But anyways,
wow, can you imagine a chick with his face? Whoa.
Oh man, that's.
I do not.
I sure hope that he took out to the mom.
I'm going back into the Matrix. I'm going back in.
Yeah, maybe some people shouldn't do porn, but I don't know. Maybe she's hot.
But I want to do this as a segment. I'm probably thinking like maybe every few months.
What's her
What do
first
you
name?
think, Mike?
I'm in.
Okay.
I could talk guns all day.
Right?
You bet.
So there's so much there's pros and there's cons about firearms. I
thought we were talking about porn tonight.
This fucking guy.
Porn.
Pros and cons.
There you go.
And I have the camera here because man, we walked inside. It smelled like there was a dead animal in here or something like that. I think Dutchie might have maybe killed one of the hookers or something.
Just a warning, she's not hot.
So that's why I got the camera here, man. It was bad. But anyways, if you guys, all you listening out there, if you chime in, you can. If you are on your computer, you can go to YouTube, Kaotic Radio. You can click on the live now, and you can chat on in. If you want to call in, it's 919-360-8330. Let us know. It doesn't matter if you are a pro-gun or anti-gun. I want to hear info from both sides.
I want to say I support her decision now.
Whose decision?
Montana.
Oh, you had to look it up. Well, she is hot.
I must have got a bad picture when I pulled it up.
She does not look like Lawrence.
Not at all.
Oh, never mind.
Thank you, Mama.
I retract my previous statement. She's kind of hot.
Yeah, as soon as I mentioned porn, now he's off on a whole different thing, man.
Hey, it's the
Can't take
Merica
this kid
Show.
anywhere.
That's all right, Zig. You and I are still here.
Right? Holy shit.
I just added something to the guns, drugs, and rock and roll.
And porn.
So what we did is we each brought in. I mean, we brought in a couple guns that we own personally, and of course these are all registered to us.
These are all legal.
There's no live ammo here, so no one's gonna get shot. We are safe gun owners. You can see that all the firearms are
Got the
not
actions
loaded.
open.
We
They're
have
all-
the cable
actions
lock
open.
inside every
It's
single
all-
one of them,
we're
as
all
you
good
can
to
see
go.
on YouTube.
Whoops.
Hey, 3 out of 4 times it works 100% of the time.
That's like putting your seatbelt on when the cops
As
go.
the cops walking up
Well,
to
that's
your
okay.
window.
It's been open and clear.
Actually, I could do that without them noticing.
No,
I was really good at that.
We've all double checked. All the guns are cleared. There's no live ammo here. But we each brought in a couple of our toys.
Yeah, but Zig, what about this weird assault rifle you have on the table?
Well, and see and I'm bringing that's part of the show because we are going to be talking about assault rifles. What is the definition of an assault rifle? I have the information
So do I.
here in front of me, and it's a joke. These politicians and shit incite as an assault rifle, especially in California. That guy DeLeon, oh my God.
Wait, does yours have the key you have to use to eject the magazine?
It does have the bullet button.
They changed that the year after, and they covered up a thumb hole, and then you can push the button. It's like,
there's
what
a little thing you
difference?
can...
It actually makes it easier.
They
You can't stick your thumb through the stock, though.
Well, and with the new regulations, basically what they want you to do is have a featureless rifle, which means back to the just drop your mag, put another mag in.
That's
Changes
why
your reloading time by about 10 million% better.
That's why Springfield makes guns on just normal stocks, because they can put whatever on them. And when people want the fancy looking stock, they gotta strip it down in terms of what you get.
Well, but that's the whole thing. The new reg is no removable magazines.
Yeah,
To
I
load your
thought
gun
that
or
was
clear it. You have to crack it open.
Oh,
no. They had that before.
Oh, they changed it. Okay, to that.
But
Okay.
no, they got the
Okay,
You can remove it with a button now.
That's my computer. Now I'm gonna start. I want to start the show by how stupid
Oh shit!
and how politicians can fucking be. Because this is where it starts. Okay, guys, this is where it starts.
Yep.
Is as soon as the politician, because then they start going, and if there's a shooting or what have you, oh my God, everyone with a gun is bad.
Yeah, it's the same outcry from both sides every time there's some sort of shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The anti-gun people are.
I think the media
guns
is
are horrible, and pro-gun people are going. Well, hey, wait a second. We're all responsible, and most of us are.
Well, and then what they do is they sit there and they they do they
make
do
this shit up
they go on the news and they
Yeah.
go, oh, this is a blah 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 and it's gonna kill everybody, and you know. So what I have Senator Kevin DeLeon, and this is how, I mean, if you're before I we all brought our stuff in, I made sure that everybody brought in a piece of information that we're going to use for the show.
There was homework?
Do your fucking homework.
Do you ever fucking pay attention? Why am
No.
I the only one that shows up and pays attention? Except for probably
he's-
Mike.
well, he's the
Because
only
Mike
one
already
that's
knows it off the top of his head
watching
anyway.
I do the
porn
drum
over
homework.
here. And see, look at this.
There's
Look,
plenty of stuff there.
look at
nice.
this.
Go for it.
There you go.
Graphs
Wow,
and charts, and
Merica-
circles on the back.
Merica Mike.
Even a
Dude,
big
you gotta
font so
love
I
this
can read
guy.
it without glasses. Good.
So
I did that once and they totally didn't even ask for the topics I brought in, so I've never done it again.
No, well, go look at the pictures.
okay, so here is this is DeLeon live on the news, and the thing is he's got a police officer behind him
Yeah.
that is not even flinching. It's like if you're gonna go on live in front of millions of people, do your fucking homework.
Yeah,
okay?
ask the guy right next to you that could explain it to you.
Right.
Or just sound like a fucking idiot to everybody who knows what you're trying to talk about and you don't have any idea.
So this is DeLeon. He's a Democrat from Los Angeles.
I
Okay.
resemble that.
Only slightly.
I'm
Only
sorry.
the ugly parts.
This is a ghost gun. This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
This is how many words I have. I can't
Half a second.
30.
30.
Hold on. I got to get me
Hang
a
on,
30
hang on.
caliber clip.
Hang on.
This is a ghost gun. This right here
Fuckers playing
has
Modern
ability
Warfare
with
too
a
much.
30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Okay.
So who knows what a ghost gun is?
Well,
I
first
don't
off,
know
what's a 30 caliber clip?
that would be the clip that goes into my 30 caliber rifle.
And it's
What
actually
the
a
fuck?
magazine, not a
Unless
clip.
he's calling it AK.
Thank
like-
you.
I was hoping somebody was going to say that. I
Yeah.
figured it was him.
And so 30 rounds,
Yeah.
half a second.
Oh, minigun maybe.
Yeah.
That's like premature ejaculation.
Like that shit in the front of an A-10 Warthog could do that. Mm-hmm. The A-10 Warthog's a military plane, for those of you
but
that don't know,
but
because Zig's going to be this long.
Yeah, it's got the phalanx
dude,
mounted on the
that
front,
is-
right?
That's a fucking
It's a minigun at the
rotary
nose.
fucking gun, dude. That's you.
Those things sound insane.
That's not what he's holding. That's not what he's holding.
Doesn't he have
Sounds
a
like
key?
There's no
I can't
way
see
this
it.
fucking farm.
30
Well,
magazine clip
without being able to see the
in
clip.
half a second.
30. Did you
looks-
hear that?
it sounds like
30
yeah.
magazine clip.
It sounds like he's holding Xbox Call of Duty
Well,
Warfare.
if it's a 30 magazine clip, it's probably about that big. 'Cause
Yeah.
You could put 30 magazines.
That's
in
like a
it.
Tommy gun drum
Right.
that holds like
And a
2,000
huge-ass
rounds.
clip.
Like, yeah.
And how many are in each magazine? Like 10 or 20? Because that could be a lot of bullets.
Now,
No, we're talking thousands of bullets.
here's what happens. You're misinformed person.
AKA
All right.
the politicians that speak to this shit.
Well, I'm talking about the person that is like so afraid of goddamn guns. You know what I mean? That,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they're like, oh my god, and the first thing they're gonna do is start reposting it. Oh my god, look at 30 rounds per half a second. Oh my god, fuck off. And if you guys want to pull it up, just look up DeLeon failure. If you pull that up, I swear to God,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I pulled up just to
Yeah.
get that video. DeLeon failure.
Nice.
Or gun failures, what is? I'm sorry. I stand corrected. That is it. And so here's what and then people just lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
They lose their freaking mind. Now, Mike, if you were, I'm sure you've seen this. What was the first thing that came in your head? Is that the first time you heard that?
Yeah.
one? That is the first time?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sitting, I can tell by your face, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck is this guy thinking?
He's like, we pay these people?
It doesn't mean that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It means he doesn't know the nomenclatures, which means he's uninformed. So that's the first thing that I think of.
Well, he's such an anti-gun person.
yeah, you just
That doesn't mean that he knows anything about guns. He just knows that he doesn't like them.
well, that's
Guns are bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey.
Well, it's just like how many people do you hear that refer to that as a clip?
I have clips for my
I
SKS.
fuck that one up all the time.
Yeah.
I do
But
too,
I
though.
mean, it's a magazine.
I use them interchangeably sometimes.
Right.
See, when I'm reading Road and Track, I think of magazine. For some reason, when I think of a gun, I think clip.
Now, a 30
all the
magazine clip makes absolutely no sense, which means the guy doesn't understand the nomenclature.
But you could actually make a clip of magazines. And that
But
would
you
be
also
fast.
got to remember the guy's a politician. If he doesn't have it written in front of him, he can't speak English.
30 magazines.
A 30 magazine clip. That's a big.
I'm picturing
That
a
would be like
gigantic.
this long when you're holding a gun this way.
I'm picturing a
You can pull it
gigantic
out
drum of
and
ammo
move
that you
over
hook
one.
up to like a Gatling gun.
But to empty that in a half second.
Well, that's the fallacy.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't.
Yeah, you put a
understand
weapon on
how
this
the
table that
physics
shoots-
Work.
Yeah.
Because when you've got well, first of all, do we need to talk about what a ghost gun is? What? Because
Please do.
I don't know
Well-
if anybody's actually seen that picture.
Okay. And
I couldn't see what it was.
Yeah.
No, okay.
I would like Mike to talk about
Let's
a
move
ghost
on. Jordy, you want to take that? I have the answer for a ghost gun. I know exactly.
I don't,
there was
that's-
two
I don't have
definitions.
it. I don't have it.
A ghost gun means that there's no trace to it. There's
That's
no
what I
numbers. on
thought.
it.
Growing up with my dad
Okay.
being a cop, that's what I always thought of. Like, okay, well, it's untraceable. It's a
Oh, like the
throwaway.
ones that we sold to the Mexican mafia.
It's not that it's untraceable. It's generally a homemade gun that isn't recorded
It doesn't
or
have
registered.
numbers. It's not registered.
Right. So when you take that gun, is really two pieces. There's a receiver and a lower.
Yeah.
Right. So you can go and buy a receiver, and you can go and buy an upper, and you can put those two things together, and you now have a gun. And if neither of those pieces has a number on it, then it's a ghost gun.
Yeah.
There's no way of tracing where the parts came from unless you go back through the purchase records. Right. And one of the laws that was recently passed as part of the January or whatever that last election was.
Yeah, it takes effect this coming January.
Yeah, is that it outlaws guns that aren't serialized.
I thought they serialized
Yeah,
all
so-
receivers.
No, they don't.
Huh.
That's why so many people build their own guns.
That's because we're in the Republic of California.
Yeah. But even when you do build your own gun, I thought the receivers came with that.
No.
number.
Depends on where you get the receiver.
So if you order it from a manufacturer that stamps all their guns, you can get one. It makes it easier to register instead of having to carve your own serial number and make one up.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do that for a 50 cal before they banned them. I was like, "Ooh, I want one, but I can't afford it."
You haven't been
But
able
could
to
buy
own
the
a 50 cal in
receiver.
California for a very long time, Dave. So what are you thinking of when you were like 6?
No, that's like 10 years ago that they banned it. Not even that long. Yeah, Arnold was. I was going to say president, governor.
Don't figure the person that makes fucking
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't even in California
moves
when I
with
was 6.
tons of guns in it.
Yeah, but that was like the one option. You could buy the receiver and it has the
Yeah.
serial number, and then you can build it later. Kind of like financing it, because they're pretty expensive. Those Barretts, I think, are upwards of 10 grand. And then
Oh,
you
if
want
you're
to
looking
get a
at the
good
rifle?
scope. Now you're going to spend 20 grand.
Are you talking about the rifle, the 50 cal, or the handgun?
Rifle?
Oh, 10 grand. You're building the fucking cheap one, pal.
Yeah, I don't know shit. Yeah,
So-
you can get a motorcycle.
So I mean, so there. But anyways, I don't think you finished your statement.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't even remember where else I was going.
It's fucking
We
Yeah,
talked
sorry
about,
to
we
cut
get
you off.
we talked
sidetracked
about the
again.
ghost gun, and that I don't know where we were going from there.
Okay, so anyways, I mean, can you buy parts for a gun and then make it a ghost gun? Yes, you can.
Does that make it any more dangerous?
Exactly.
If
Okay.
you really know what you're doing, you can just buy a block of metal and you can completely make your own lower.
Right.
Which
So-
I have buddies that do. They just
There's
talk
an old-
about a ghost gun.
There's
That's
an old
literally-
Israeli design for that. It's like one of those little submachines. You can just make it out of like pipe and all kinds of shit.
So we brought in
I wouldn't
some
recommend
toys.
it.
Not
It's not
talking-
going to be accurate.
Not talking about a blow dart gun, you asshole.
Okay, so
No, real bullets.
So, anyways, guys, what we did is we all brought in some of our toys. One I have here. Okay, this is obviously because people in YouTube can see this. This is a Ruger P95. It's a 9mm semi-automatic. Semi-automatic.
Semiotic.
Semiotic.
That's right there with the
Symbiotico.
clip of magazines.
Yeah, the 30 magazine clip. And I also brought a Spikes Firearms AR-15, a 5.56. What did you bring in, Mike?
This is a Sig Sauer RX 320 compact. It has a built-in red dot. This is in a 9mm. And I brought in my favorite 1911 piece, which is a Kimber 45 caliber.
And that weapon is fun to
those are nice.
shoot. That was a beauty.
It is nice and smooth, and it's heavy, and it feels great in your hand.
And it feels.
I got to stop now.
You need a moment.
Please tell me you got that, Mike.
And these are great because they make little holes going in and big holes going out.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jordy?
I have my Smith & Wesson Military and Police 9mm and my Springfield model 1911 45 ACP. It's my favorite gun on the planet. I don't know why. I just love this gun. I was a big World War II buff, and that's what the sergeants carried in World War II. Mm-hmm. So that, and then the M1 Grand. I want to get one of those at some point.
That's really nice.
I just love the weapon. I love the World War II stuff. And a lot of the models like this hasn't changed.
Yep.
Some of them they had to, like the M1 Grand and stuff they had to get rid of because nobody wants to carry around a 50-pound rifle with friggin', 60 pounds worth of rifle and ammo to go shooting.
Has less kick if it's heavier.
I'm going to kick you, you fucking ass.
But no,
I know
it's
people
just
that actually
easier to
add
control.
weight to their
Yeah.
stock for that, but they're not like going out fighting battles. They're just going to the range.
Let me tell you this. Between this 45 and his Kimber 45, this has a lot more kick. I don't know why. They're around the same weight. I don't know if his is a little heavier, but I think you've done some custom work to that, right?
Nope.
No? Okay, I'm getting rid of that for Kimber.
Nice.
Because when I shot, oh my God, that was a beautiful weapon to shoot.
All right,
Yeah,
what did you bring, JJ?
I have. Let me move the paperwork real quick. A Beretta U-22, little 22 can plinker, and I put a little Bushnell red dot on it for fun. So it's a good, cheap, easy, fun gun for plinking cans. And then I have my Glock 40 caliber, and I love this baby. It's just all around good, fun gun.
Those are nice guns.
But
Yeah.
I don't like the Glock design when you're talking about 45s. I like the 1911s way better because this is it'll have more kick because the bottom part is so light. And then my high point, which is also a 40 caliber. So
I bet you that has barely any kick compared to your handgun 40.
actually, I haven't taken it out yet. It's brand new.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a range day to me.
I haven't been to the range.
There we go.
Well, you want to
Can
hear
we bring
something?
this
And I
fucking
saw
guy?
y'all
yeah.
posting on
Bring
Facebook that you
everything.
were on the range. Where was my invite?
Dude, I owned this weapon for a year and a half
No,
before I
wait,
took it
wait.
shooting.
Okay. No,
Actually,
'cause-
the Glock I owned for several years. I didn't even know how to shoot it yet. So then I just made sure I educated myself. Well, I mean, I knew how to shoot it,
to
just
pull
like
the trigger, dude.
the gun safety basics and all that shit.
pull the trigger and don't point it at nobody.
Yeah, no shit.
You know, a lot of people hit me up because when I posted the time we went to the shooting range,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're like, "Well, what? No invite? You know, what the hell? No invite?" Well, let me
that
see.
like a year ago?
Because I was invited by somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not. That's like, okay, hey Mike, I'm gonna invite you to my party, and all of a sudden you show up with fucking 20 people.
Yeah, it ain't gonna fly.
You know what I mean? I'm like, well, Mike, turn around, take those people with you. You know what I mean? So that's why I looked at
Well, it
Mike.
depends. Are they
Can
all
we
girls?
bring this guy?
Well, can and want to are two completely different things.
Truth. Truth.
See, he takes care of me, therefore he earned his spot.
I just somehow got invited because Zig likes me. Yeah. I was his plus one.
Well, because we had a nice time at the shop
That's
that day,
true.
so that was okay. Too.
Yeah, we started talking
No,
about
it's
Yeah.
it's.
You know-
I would bring everybody to the range, but I got to have a small enough number that I can control what goes on because I do not know who shoots well, who doesn't know what they're doing. Because I'm out there as the range officer, so I'm the one that's in charge of everybody's safety.
Yep, and it's a private one too, right?
It is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the one I usually go to is a public one, so you can just go up there. But they have their own.
Well,
like,
they have
guys.
range officers
Yeah.
are there that control everything. We go into a small private bay. We set up our own targets, and then I have to make sure nobody walks out of there bloody. So we'll think about it for the next trip.
Be journalist.
No, don't say it. Don't fucking say it.
Oh my God! No, it's a great place where we go shoot. I don't know if we can say it on the air. I'm leaving it up to you, Mike. But
Yeah,
I know it's a great range. It was a great time. It's in the base. It's very secluded. I mean, there's high banks, so nothing's gonna stray, anywhere.
No, it's the West End Gun Club.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, the one I go to is right up the road from it.
Yeah, up at Lytle
Yeah.
Creek.
Yeah.
The one at the end where all the Yahoos go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So at the West End, there's a lower range that is open for limited members, and then there are back bays, and so you can go back there. And then there's long range shooting. So you go up on top of the hill and
Yeah, I
you
think-
shoot over the other bays.
It's
So
1,500,
they
right?
close-
Or
No,
is it
no, no.
more?
600 was the longest they had.
Oh,
I think they've even shortened that a little bit, but There are certain times of the day that you can go there because that shoots over other bays. So you got to make sure that there's nobody down there. But you know, some guys do some pretty cool stuff. I have one guy I know that goes out there, and what he does is he sets up a little generator and some lights at night and a webcam, and then he goes back all the way to the end, and where all he sees is the target, and then he looks at his computer to see how he's shooting.
Oh, cool.
From the webcam that's pointed at the lit up target that's 600 yards away.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. So some guys do some pretty good stuff up there.
It's a nice range. I like going there. But I guess you're invited for JJ.
No, we got to do is find a day.
Yeah.
I guess you're invited.
Oh, well, let's not blow this out of proportion.
You know, because you know, people are like all up in arms, like, oh, okay, well, you know, we're going to, people want to, well, I should say people, I say politicians, and then people back them saying, hey, you know what, I think that the forefathers, it was a different time then, because we were just coming out of,
So we have the right to bear a musket.
Well, right, which was about as
argument
was about as accurate as me throwing a baseball, over home plate. I mean, I couldn't throw a base. I couldn't pitch to save my life.
Didn't they have grenades back then too?
Little clay pot ones.
But something that went boom.
Yeah.
When they wrote it. Okay.
See, now I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, don't try making one of those.
You're talking about time stamping.
Talking about politicians.
Yeah,
the Second Amendment. That it was designed at a point in time in history.
So now, if people say like, well, it was a different time back then. You had the British and this and that, then you had the North against the South and all this, and now the times are different. That's when war was here in the United States. So that's how that worked. No, I'm sorry, that's not how that works. Because if you want to, like, change, one amendment in the Bill of Rights, does that not mean that you would have to change other ones? Am I correct?
Yep.
No,
Not necessarily.
no.
Well, okay, but why only attack?
But you
one?
could.
Why? Oh, okay.
Well, but who has a problem
Okay,
with
wait,
illegal search and seizure?
Well, here, I'll give you a good example, Mike. Okay, I'm an anti-gun advocate. I don't want you owning a firearm, but you know what? I like to organize protests, and I like to do these marches and shit like that. But now you tell me that, well, you know what? You can't do that.
Actually, that's pretty much the case now. You can't just
but
protest.
that's what I'm saying. But
They'll
I'm just
put you in jail for 30 years
what
for it.
I'm saying is, do you see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
One, then the other.
Okay, why? There's no tit for tat. And the second they say, oh well, it's that's old school. Well, okay,
Technically, every fucking amendment is.
okay. I'm going to come.
True.
I'm going to come back to here's Australia banned firearms. If you had a firearm, you had to turn it in, and they bought the firearm for you, probably at pennies to the dollar.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Definitely not anything what you invested in your firearms.
Yeah.
But now get this: since that gun ban, armed robberies were up 69%.
Yeah.
69%. Okay, so that means it's a perfect example. Okay, now who has the firearms?
The bad people still.
Thank you.
Or the people that aren't necessarily bad.
That don't care
The ones
about
that
Well,
don't
if
wanna
they're
follow
robbing
the
somebody,
law.
they're bad.
They don't care.
They just don't care about the law.
They're criminals. They don't care. Okay, so I'm going to jail for having a firearm. I'll spend a few years. I'll come back out. I'm going to fucking rob somebody else again. Assault with guns up 28%. Assaults. Gun murders, okay, up 19%. I have it in another thing, but I'm not bringing it tonight. Home invasions, 21% up.
Yeah.
There was a recent invasion. This is probably, I'm going to say probably about 5 months ago, 6 months ago. 3 teenage kids, one with a hatchet, one with a knife, and one with a baseball bat. I have it somewhere inside here, but this is true. If anybody can look this up. Went into a gentleman's house, did a home invasion to rob him because they found out that he had large sum of cash at his house. And he had an AR-15. When those kids kicked open the door, walked into his living room, and he basically made them meet their maker.
Mm-hmm.
The grandfather of one of them was on the news, pissed off because, well,
I remember this now.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about an
he-
Australian case. This was here.
well, no, this was
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was about 5 or 6 months ago, and this guy wanted to sue the guy that killed these teenagers for breaking into his home with a hatchet, a knife, and a baseball bat. So
Yeah,
they're going to hack
obvious-
him up, they're going to stab
Yeah.
him, they're going to bludgeon him to death.
Yeah,
Okay,
You know,
And
all
then
those are
what you-
lethal instruments.
Yes,
exactly.
And there's more of them than there is him. That makes it a disparity of force. That's
Thank
the
you.
legal term.
But
what he
he-
did was actually legal.
yeah, he attempted,
In every sense.
But he attempted to sue them, saying it was excessive because he.
Had a gun in their head.
Because it
should-
was AR-15.
The grandfather said, "Oh, well, he should have just picked up a baseball bat or a hatchet or a knife."
Oh, yeah.
You fucking stupid.
Excuse me.
Stupid.
Excuse me. You go inside. You go inside. You break in my house.
Oh, let me go to my closet of assorted
Right.
weapons. I'll choose this one today.
Right. But see, that's the kind. That's
Yeah.
It's oh my god. And then when you get people like, oh my god, yeah, he killed 3 teenagers. Oh my god.
No, he killed some fucking assholes breaking into somebody else's house with malintent.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you turned the page to something. And,
I did.
I brought up a couple of mine. I have more. So no, Mike, I'm gonna turn the mic over. I'm gonna turn
Mic
the
to
mic
Mike.
over to Mike.
Okay,
Merica Mike.
So here's the thing. You mentioned some statistics in Australia. They banned guns, and I don't remember what it was. Something armed robbery was up 69%.
Yes,
From how many to how many?
it didn't say.
Okay,
you know.
see, because this is important. Now, I pulled up, it's an archive that keeps track of the statistics. Through June 30th of 2017, there were 34,532 firearm incidents in the United States. 34,000. Of those, there was 17,111 injuries from those incidents. So saying that things are up 69% is all well and good, but let's put it into perspective. Because if we're talking it went from 20 to 35, right? It's a minuscule number. So it's important. I mean, if you could come up with what the numbers are, right, that would put things in a little more.
Yeah,
And in a different light.
69% would be like probably 55,000
Well,
from 34. Somewhere like that.
But if
Just
that's if we
ballpark.
had that kind of an
Yeah.
increase, what I'm saying is they took guns away in Australia. Armed
horrible
robberies
at
went
math.
up.
You
But
suck
if there
at
was
math.
only 100 and now there's 169, okay?
Yeah.
In the United States, the gun and I have to qualify all of this. Okay?
Well, if it was-
I
if
am
it
not
makes sense to
I
qualify
am
it.
not I am not for outrageous controls, okay? But I think there has to be something that makes sense because 34,000 incidents in 6 months is excessive.
Right, and to qualify that, that means literally. It doesn't mean somebody got shot. It doesn't. It just
It
means
does.
there was a
It's
gun
exactly
involved.
what it means.
It just means there's a gun. If somebody
Okay.
shot themselves.
Somebody got shot.
Well, okay, but
Okay.
if I break into your house with a gun and I don't actually use the gun, that's a gun incident.
Okay.
Does
that's
this
true.
qualify as a gun incident? Because we got guns here.
Yes,
Well,
technically.
until somebody gets not until somebody gets shot,
Oh, that's a shooting
right?
incident.
So
Yeah.
I mean, but unintentional shootings 1,146.
Yeah.
Of 34,000. 1,100 unintentional.
And now,
Okay.
mind you, before you go any further, now mind you that there's the average is one in America. We have the highest amount of firearms.
Oh,
per
you
household.
bet.
So we average one firearm per person in the United States. So if you look at the millions of people, 1,100 is not that bad.
No, it's not.
It's
But
very
now-
minuscule.
When
How
you
you
look
like
at
this one?
the number of
Incidents by
unintentional,
geography.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
When you're talking about the unintentional shooting, that's like a basic
Wow.
gun safety
California's
thing that
Yeah,
people
it's
don't
exactly
know.
what it is.
And
It's
don't
gun
put your
safety.
finger on the trigger until you're ready to go.
But
That's right.
now, is this breaking it down as far as like murders, like criminals?
There are
or is
no.
it separated?
Well, if you look at the top one here,
It's
this
just
one is
as-
home
as-
invasions, so those are criminals.
Okay.
Yeah, they include justified
But,
shootings. in
yeah,
it.
incidents is incidents,
incident.
Yeah,
right?
Even a justified shooting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could
Yes.
all. It all probably also includes the police statistics.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, I
there
mean, it's
you
all
go.
that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just the quantities are staggering.
Yeah.
They are. And you know, I got a whole bunch of weapons. I've never shot anybody. I've
haven't
never
either.
been involved in an incident.
Me neither.
I would have absolutely
plead
no
the fifth.
trouble pulling the trigger on somebody who is trying to kill me or my family or friends.
Right.
That makes me a responsible gun owner. And I follow the rules. The guns I own are registered. They're legally purchased. I don't have magazines that are in excess of what is allowed. These are all reasonable things, right?
Right.
30 caliber clips.
You know that.
Well, 30 magazine
30
clips.
magazine clips.
That's
30 magazine
those
clips.
are dangerous.
That's funny because I heard 30 caliber when the guy said that on the video.
Well, he started with 30 caliber, and
Oh,
then he
okay.
kind of went all over the place. But I still
He's a
think,
politician.
Yeah.
you know, but I still think there should be background checks. I still think there should be certain classes of individuals that should not be allowed to own a gun.
yeah, I mean, like the
Right?
convicted felon
Right.
stuff that's in place.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, to make a blanket statement that we should all be able to do whatever we want to is insane.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
But that's not what we're saying.
I understand, but the people
That's
that,
not what
but
we're
what you
saying.
hear, but what you hear when people say that the Second Amendment, gives us
Yeah,
a right
it's,
to
oh,
do
we should
anything
be able to
want
own whatever we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, following on that, you made a request. Okay, you said because I carry every day, and my firearm is locked and loaded, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to me to carry a gun that doesn't have one in the chamber that I can't just boom when I need to.
True.
You told me don't bring it in the studio. Have you now infringed on my Second Amendment right?
Oh, burn.
True.
Right?
Sure.
It's not a burn. It's a valid
But-
question.
But we're also talking about safety. Just like, okay, I'm going to come back
Right.
to you, Mike. So now, when we go shooting, when we put a gun down, is that gun loaded?
It better not be.
It better not be. Thank you very much.
That's right.
And that's why they're all cocked back like this. So when we're at the shooting range, we're talking about what? Safety,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And what are we doing right here? We're being safe. Outlaw's been tagging in. He's like, go Zig go. Outlaw guns. Only outlaws have guns. That is right, soldier. Absolutely correct.
Yep.
So Jordy, you brought something to the table.
I did.
I gave everybody homework.
You did. I love it when I get home.
Actually, are you good?
Yeah,
Mike?
sure.
Okay,
Pass it
very good.
along. I'm not going to
Yeah.
dominate them.
I actually was hoping that I would go probably last after his stuff because it kind of ties into the study end of it versus just the fact end of it. So if anybody else has any actual fact stuff before I get into mine, maybe.
I got a lot of facts, but we'll
Yeah.
just leave them
Actually,
in the
I
bag.
want to say something about the Australian statistics.
Me
like,
too.
I don't have hard stats to back this up, but I've seen some stuff when I was researching before, a long time ago. But the sources that I found were saying the exact opposite, that there was a huge decrease in violence, and I found that questionable.
I saw that same thing. That's what I was going to say. I saw the same thing on the news.
That's why
It
it's
said
like
that all
sometimes I
crime
don't,
went down in Australia after the gun ban.
it's hard to know exactly what you can trust when you're looking for information on it because both sides seem to be like so polarized.
Just remember that statistics don't lie. What is it? Figures don't lie, but liars can figure.
Yeah.
Nice.
True.
Right? So you can make the numbers say anything you want them to.
Right.
Yeah, I remember it was a Peter Griffin quote. You can prove any. No, Homer Simpson. Sorry. You can
I
prove
got Peter
anything you
Griffin
want.
on
Now
my
there's an
statistics.
authority.
14% of all people know that.
Okay, so I have one where Obama, and now here's, and I want you guys to listen to this and watch how they candy coat how he's very smooth
Yeah.
about how he says things.
He was the king
You know
of
what I mean?
smooth.
He was.
We're gonna slaughter a
He
lot
was.
of people.
You know what I mean? But it's funny if you listen to it. Because he's always been like, oh, I don't want to take weird guns. But then all of a sudden, if you catch him, he says this and he says ban, and then he goes right back into limiting. And now, if you listen when he's talking about foreign aggression here and limiting their ability to purchase, and he's always using the word assault rifle.
Oh, you mean
All right.
Armalite rifle model
Just
15s?
we're gonna be getting into the assault, the definition of assault in later, the second segment. But listen to what he says, and it's just and I had to listen to it over and over again, and I'm just like, and every time I got it, my smile got bigger and bigger. It's like, God, and this is how they do it. It's kind of like someone hypnotizing you. You know what I mean? If you listen to what, look at Mike. Fucking guy. Just listen to this, and you'll see. And this is how people like this when they're in this political stature, how they can manipulate the thoughts and minds of people.
We really want to help law enforcement protect Americans from homegrown extremists. The kind of tragedies that occurred at San Bernardino and that now have occurred in Orlando. There is a meaningful way to do that. We have to make it harder for people who want to kill Americans to get their hands on weapons of war that let them kill dozens of innocents. But we know that, consistent with the Second Amendment, there are common sense steps that could reduce gun violence and could reduce the lethality of somebody who intends to do other people harm. We should give ATF the resources they need to enforce the gun laws that we already have. People with possible ties to terrorism who aren't allowed on a plane shouldn't be allowed to buy a gun. Enough talking about being tough on terrorism. Actually be tough on terrorism. And stop making it easy as possible for terrorists to buy assault weapons. Reinstate the assault weapons ban. Make it harder for terrorists to use these weapons to kill us. Otherwise, despite extraordinary efforts across our government, by local law enforcement, by our intelligence agencies, by our military, despite all the sacrifices that folks make, these kinds of events are going to keep on happening.
Did you hear that?
I have a question.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, he was talking about making restrictions, and he threw ban.
Yeah. That's not a restriction, that's a ban.
Restriction and ban are two different fucking words.
He just used terrorist as a hinge
If you go
point.
into the goddamn Webster's dictionary, they're going to be two different definitions.
I agreed with two things you said. Make it harder for terrorists and give the ATF the money they need to enforce gun laws. That's what I agreed with out of that.
Well, true. I mean, I agree.
Because that would make a difference.
If we can't have, like, what they call assault rifles, then can the ATF turn in theirs too? And police?
Well,
like,
now,
can
mind
everybody
you,
be on an even playing field?
Well, and you also notice how he said, that they're not allowed on a plane, so we need to restrict them from, buying assault rifles. Well, let me see. If you weren't supposed to be on a goddamn plane, how can you get here to buy an assault rifle?
Wait, hold on. I want to know which states you can buy an assault rifle in, because I know there's one. But
I know, and I have a definition of assault. We're getting in at the later segment, but here's the deal. Yeah. This is the guy that wanted to open our borders and just let them all start flying in. I'm not a prejudiced fucking person in this slightest.
No, but hey, let's make it tougher.
You've known me for years and years and years, dude. And
thousands of miles.
Have you ever known me to be prejudiced? I own a motorcycle shop. Do you know how many people, different nationalities? You were supposed to turn that thing down.
I did. It was an alarm that went off for work. It's my work phone.
How many, Mike, you've been in my shop, and Vijay, you've been in my shop. How many different nationalities do I have in my shop?
I don't know. I've only seen
Do I discriminate against any? Oh, that's right, because you only come. You're the only fucking white guy there.
I've seen mostly Japanese bikes and American bikes.
I've
made quite a few.
Except for the
think about it. That's but
Couple
I'm not
Germans.
saying that. But see,
Black
to
guy that
open
worked
borders, you're allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
And then so what? And now if you
so you want to make it tougher, but then you want to open the border.
And then people are like, oh well, we never have to worry about an invasion. Mind you, did anybody here tell me why Japan did not invade the United States mainland in World War II?
I can.
Well, one, because of distance.
They had planes. They could fly that.
No,
Yeah, Pearl Harbor,
that was
jackass.
not-
We know they had
that
planes.
That was not the main reason. If you have the answer, go ahead and say it.
It was from an interview with one of their generals. It was because every American has their own weapons, so basically they'd be fighting the entire country.
Yeah, the
as an army.
perception
Thank you.
was, yeah.
Thank you. So, if you sit there now, mind you, someone that wants to ban, but yet open the borders.
Yeah.
What are you allowing to happen? What are you?
Drugs, mules.
Do I own a firearm because I want to protect my family? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I also want to protect myself from foreign invasion. And if you don't think that can happen here,
Yeah, you're blind.
you are fucking mistaken. I'm sorry.
You
You
know,
are
when-
sadly mistaken because it's happening all over
Yeah.
the freaking planet.
Yeah,
You
daily
know,
basis, other places.
Right. People get so
Comfortable
They're
and complacent.
comfortable. Oh, this is America. This would never happen here. Yeah, you keep thinking that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep thinking that.
Yeah, what'd they think in 1942 at Pearl Harbor?
True.
Nobody was expecting that. Nobody thought it would
Nope.
ever happen.
Right. Thank you very much.
Everybody's like,
I'm looking at Mike. Merica Mike is like going, I want something. I want to say something.
Say something, Mike.
No,
Go for it.
No.
Am
I want
good?
to say.
Am
I want to say
good?
something.
I mean, I first of all, if there was going to be a land invasion in this country, we would all be about half dead by the time they got here. So I mean, there's a long way from World War II and capabilities of war
Oh, yeah.
then and
But
now.
as an
You know,
example-
there would be a
example.
few million cruise missiles coming in here before anybody ever touched the shores on foot.
Yeah.
So, it goes back to the Second Amendment and the militia and that whole thing. I am, the last thing I am concerned about is a foreign invasion. To be very honest.
Well, see,
I'm more concerned about our own
A
government
domestic invasion.
Right.
Yeah.
doing something that would infringe on my rights to the point where I would live in a totalitarian environment. That would scare me more than a
Yeah.
Russia or China coming
Well, and it's
over.
already been going that way.
Well, it has
unfortunately.
been, and that's
And people don't realize it.
no, because it's happening very slowly.
Yes.
See, one of my things, I mean, I used Japan as an example, and I realized it was umpteen freaking years ago.
Yeah, but you got to think that was the only time it really
here's,
is.
here's the deal. There are radical Muslim sects here in the United States. And that's why you don't have to worry about them, shooting cruise missiles and then invading our shores like it was at Normandy or something like that.
Yeah.
They are here. And I'm telling you, one of the first, a good example of mine, it wasn't it wasn't like 1,000 fucking soldiers, but it already fucking happens. And it just happened 2 years ago, 2015, in San Bernardino. All right, 1 mile from my shop. Now, if the people that were in that building, 14 people were killed. 14 people were killed. If people were to be able to, carry without, this whole fucking scrutinized, it's just not safe to have people in America, carrying. I mean, because they're not just going to give it to any fucking asshole. I've got friends that are felons. They can't even have a firearm in their house. They don't care. Okay, fine.
It's going to make response time much quicker.
But here's the deal. Out of those 14 people that died in the San Bernardino massacre, not one of them was a felon.
Yeah.
Not one.
One of them actually jumped in front of a girl, took
Mike,
the bullets for
do you
her.
have some?
No. There's another piece of that, and that's the no gun zones,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because you can't.
I understand. It was a government.
And I'm.
Oh, wait, the shooters didn't know
either.
that.
Right.
No, I don't agree
Right.
with that.
But
at
you know
all.
what I'm saying? It's the same kind of thing. If
Demilitarization
listen,
by the
I
government.
take my weapon when I go to the movie theater. How many people have been shot up in movie theaters?
Yeah.
Truth.
Right? So my daughter won't go to the movies. And I think it's an irrational fear.
Oh, yeah.
But that's because I go armed.
Yeah.
But but it's the same thing. You can't carry into theoretically into a school, into a public building, right? A government building, federal, state, any level. So the place where that shooting occurred in San Bernardino
Was,
a state facility, right?
Well,
it's a no gun zone.
Yep.
So you got really two problems there. One, they're not carrying, and second, technically they can't.
It's also not a high security building.
Well, and if you think of all the quote unquote mass shootings that we've had, I mean, look at where they're at. A government building, schools, a state building where you're not allowed to carry.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to happen there, but there's a higher correlation of me as a criminal going, hey, I know where I can go where nobody's going to fucking protect themselves, so why don't I go there?
That's why they're there. You know, why are there so many more robberies in Beverly Hills? Because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
And think about it. So now, if you take, which a good example, it was a no-gun zone. So now, if the entire United States was a no-gun zone, what does that result in?
I think it results in our government overthrowing us.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
But I'm outside of the whole government thing, okay?
Sorry, I'm a little bit of a skeptic.
What does that put? It puts it to where
everybody knows they can go anywhere.
The people who don't give a shit, they're just going to run and they're going to,
they can not give a shit and not give a shit anywhere, and then whatever.
Because now the law-abiding citizen, all of us are here. None of us have criminal records. Yeah, you know, I'm just lucky.
Well,
but everybody would get their shit black market.
Some of them are sealed, but
it's going to go back to you take away, you disarm the law-abiding citizen. Now you've created criminal chaos. I'm just saying. So, anyways, we do need to take a little bit of a break. So I want you guys to stick around. Remember, this Merica Show. I got some more people popping in on the YouTube. Go to YouTube, Kaotic Radio, live now, or you want to call in? It's 909-360-8330. What do you feel about your right
they're in all caps on
bear
YouTube.
arms? You know, it's called the Bill of Rights, and the second one is the right to bear arms. So we'll be back here in 2 and 2.
Doesn't need no opera.
There's bad radio, good radio, and chaotic radio. In that order.
Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America! Fuck yeah! That was Seth MacFarlane, right?
Yeah. All I can think of right now is when they're all trying to bang the chick fucking puppet. I don't know why that just came into my head.
Or when he's actually banging her. It's
Yeah.
just like going, I mean, who in the hell can bang?
Puppet porn.
Only Seth MacFarlane can do that kind of shit.
Yeah, buddy.
Puppet porn. Okay, so we're back with the Zig Zone. This is the Merica Show with my buddy Merica Mike, my best friend, one of my best friends of all time, Jordy, and of course, Vagina, and Gandalf.
And this guy.
Gandalf actually brought in a toy of his own.
I got toys.
And
Vibrators don't count. It's supposed to be a real
What
gun.
did you bring in, Mikey?
I brought that 45-inch Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, buddy.
Don't let him lie to you. I think it's called the Rabbit. It's buzzing back there.
Has 30 magazine clips.
Wait, you're not a felon, are you?
Not that I am telling you.
Yeah, right? Okay, so what next thing I want to get on is assault. Okay, an assault weapon. All right, folks. Now, Mike has one of the things that me and Mike have been going back and forth a few months ago was, okay, now in January, we're supposed to, I'm supposed to, and actually you're supposed to.
Supposed
All right. And Mike is supposed to also. And so are you. Oh, shit. We're all going to have to go there all at the same time. Let's
Sounds
make
like
a
someone's
party
got
out
a
of it.
case of the supposed us.
We are supposed to take.
Careful.
Okay, don't bump the mics. All right. This rifle is they're considering an assault rifle. Okay, so I'm going to have to go and I'm going to register it as an assault rifle. So you're saying no? He's saying I'm telling you. I did some more research. Mike sent me some information. Even though now the state of California has still not defined what they're going to be considering an assault rifle, so they still haven't got no grounds for it. All they said is in January you have to do this, but
with that particular weapon, yeah.
I'm just saying,
It's
typical fucking politicians in California, man, still have no goddamn clue what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
So they want you to do this in January, but they
have no rules.
right, Mike?
They haven't fully defined
rules.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
It's just a fucking popular term that gets them voted.
right.
Is it, mostly the ARs, or is this like a wide category?
Any rifle that has certain features.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, but now I'm gonna tell you the definition, and then this is Wikipedia. The U.S. Army defines assault rifles as a short, compact, selective fire weapons that fire a cartridge intermediate in power between submachine gun and rifle cartridges.
So it can be no pew, or pew.
Okay. In the strict definition, a firearm must have at least the following characteristics to be considered an assault rifle. It must be capable of selective fire. Mike, tell me what selective fire is.
Single shot, triple shot, or full automatic.
Thank you very much. This one I'm holding right here is not that. It is a semi-auto, period.
Yeah.
Single shot.
Single shot.
Single shot.
Yeah, it's got fire
But,
and no fire.
I don't have to
Pew and no pew.
yeah. I don't have to cock it each time. Oh, he said cock.
Yeah, it is.
But he loves
He
the
said each
cock.
time.
Charge it.
Now,
It's gas charge.
okay, it must have an intermediate power cartridge, more power than a pistol, but less than a standard rifle or battle rifle, such as the 7.92 3x33, the 7.62 by 39, and the 5.56 by 45 NATO. Its ammunition must be supplied from the detachable box magazine. It must have an effective range of at least 300 meters, which is 330 yards. Rifles that meet most of these criteria, but not all, are technically not assault rifles. Now, this is the next deal, okay? Rifles that meet most of these criteria, but not all, are technically not assault rifles, despite frequently being called such. For example, select fire M2 carbines are not assault rifles. Their effective range is only 200 yards. Select rifles such as the FN FAL battle rifle are not assault rifles. They fire full-powered rifle cartridges. Semi-automatic only rifles, like variants of the Colt AR-15, similar to mine, are not assault rifles. They do not have select fire capabilities, which is the one I'm holding right here.
Yeah. And that one's probably limited to a couple 100 yards.
Oh, no.
No, no. That depends on the shooter.
Accuracy
if he's got a 5.56,
that's entirely on the
600
shooter.
yards with that.
Yeah.
Semi-auto rifles with
no,
fixed
magazines. But the rifle can.
Semi-auto rifles with fixed magazines like the SKS are not assault rifles. They do not have
That's what I have.
detachable box magazines and are not capable of automatic fire.
Truth.
Okay, so I cannot sit here and do fire burst, and I can't do full auto. Now, can I change it to that? Yes, I can.
If I wanted to.
But
yeah.
it is not that way. Well, it's just like a motorcycle. We all ride motorcycles. Can I make your motorcycle faster, Mike?
I would think so.
I can.
Could I put an illegal exhaust on my motorcycle to make it too loud? I could, but I'm not going to.
Jeez, fucking guy.
The problem with these, though, is you either make them full auto or they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no
That's
between.
the modification. Yeah, the modification you can make to those doesn't allow for selectable fire. So under that criteria, it still wouldn't be an assault rifle.
Thank you.
Because it's on full auto. It's not selected.
But they have categorized it. Now, the reason being is because the way the weapon looks.
Yes.
They make it
oh resembles
my God.
its cousin.
So let's just say, what did you bring? You had a 30-30? Oh no.
Oh, the 270.
The 270.
It's a badass.
Okay, bolt action 270.
Yeah.
Now, if you take that one, you put it next to this one. Oh, people are gonna. This one is an assault rifle. No, it's not.
Every time they put up a picture of it when they're talking about assault rifles, it's always an AR.
Exactly.
Or it's an M4.
Or an AK.
And they don't even realize
But here's the thing. It's you don't hear anybody watch this. That's like me looking at a black guy and then looking at another black guy. Oh, they're both black, so say one's a criminal and one's a law-abiding citizen. So you know what? They're both black, so now they're both criminals.
Yeah.
I mean, think
same
about
logic.
that. Same thing with Mexican, white, whatever. You're looking at one rifle because it looks a certain way. And that the media has, perpetrated is this. That it's an assault rifle. So now we have to go down and register this.
Correction.
Our firearm.
They want us to go down and register.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, but just remember that when you bought that rifle, you registered it. They already know you have it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Isn't that on the federal
Right.
level, though? Does the state have access to what the federal?
Trust me, the Fed has access to every state.
Everybody.
I was thinking the other way, because it's a California law, right? Or is this federal that you're talking?
This is California.
This is California, but it doesn't matter what Mike said. And we had a conversation this when Mike was at my shop.
Yeah.
With Jordy. We said that, when I registered this vehicle, let me ride
God save us from having to register these at the DMV.
Right. When I registered my firearm, they have my information.
Yeah.
Why do I need to go back? They know what I have.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
They know exactly what I have. The Arizona does, California does, and the government does. Doesn't matter. Everyone knows what I have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If I was in Arizona and I got pulled over and I had this and they pulled it up on their computer, I would be pulled up as the owner of this weapon.
Yep.
Why do I need to go down? And what they said is that if you don't go down, am I not correct, Merica Mike, that I would be fined and also might stand a chance of imprisonment? Am I correct or am I correct on this?
Well, that's my understanding of the law as written.
As enforced.
But they still have no idea what they're doing.
Well, then that's exactly the point. They have no licensing in place. They don't know how they're going to make you register. They don't know what the fees are that they're going to charge, and they don't even know if it's. Part of the reason that I think they haven't done anything is because they know there are legal challenges coming, and they're going to wait until it gets through the courts. This whole thing could be held up for years by the NRA.
Just send them an email. That's legally binding. Hey, I've got this gun, and now I'm good.
But I mean, the reality of it is, yes, there's a law in the books. Yes, we're supposed to go and register these things as assault rifles, but there's no infrastructure to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So
as
they want
usual,
to
they have their head so
something,
far
but
up their
have no
ass, they just want to
implementation.
tell us to do stuff without telling us how.
Which is the same reason that, pot farmers can't pay their taxes.
Exactly. Which is dumb because we can make so much bloody money, it's not funny.
Oh, we can. It's the feds that are stopping us.
I know.
So, well, we did. I'm going to save some of this stuff for another show. I have so much.
Oh,
stuff,
and
dude.
since we're on this
I have
particular
so
rifle,
much.
because there's going to be people out here listening that don't know this, AR does not stand for assault rifle. For the love of God, it stands for Armalite Rifle Model 15. That's where AR-15 comes from.
So what's AK stand for?
I used to know. I know the second one's Kalashnikov. I just can't remember the first one.
It's basically the Russian brand name.
Yeah, I just can't remember. It's like I want to say Arnold, but it's not Arnold. I can't remember. It's something Kalashnikov.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What about HK?
Heckler and Koch. Dick. Are we doing this? Are we really doing this right now? I expect this from
At
him.
least you got
I like their
M&P
design.
At least you got M&P right.
I am yeah.
So I wanted to bring up the first two amendments, which are the ones that are like usually the ones that you hear or see on the news.
Yeah, I guess free speech and
all right,
right to bear.
So what we have is some people don't realize the modern definition of it. I mean, yes, the forefathers, they speak in. It's like the King James version, of the Bible.
Yeah, they had funny voices and everything.
So now, your First Amendment: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
That's a lot of stuff in one amendment.
Yes, it is.
But I mean, think about that. Your average person's I don't understand that shit. I mean, I mean, if I were to sit there after time, think about it. But now let's dumb it down to my level. Now here it is, dumbed down. The first of the additions to the original Constitution documents the right to freedom of religion and choice of worship, the right to have freedom of speech, the right of people to be informed by the freedom of the press, the freedom to meet in groups to exchange ideas and opinions, and the freedom to request the government to make right any injustices. Okay, that was dumbed down, and that was very understandable.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people that sit there and do all this, all the forefathers and maybe things should be changed. No, think about the big picture. It's like when I talk to my students, which actually Mike was one of my students. One of the things I said is that when you're writing, you don't have tunnel vision. If you're at an art gallery and you're looking at a picture, do you just look at one segment of it? No, you look at the entire picture. So you broaden your view of everything, right? So now, let's move on to the second one. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed.
That's the worst written sentence
Isn't
ever.
You know what I mean? But
they weren't English majors,
right? But
they were semi-English.
Here, let's break it down into layman's terms.
or like 100%.
The second of the additions to the original Constitution states that people have the right to keep a weapon and to use it to protect themselves. That is exactly what it is. I have. See, look at Mike's face.
Well, now
Well, it doesn't say
we go
any
back to the
weapon.
militia part, but that's okay.
Well, they didn't define the militia part, which I knew Mike was.
See, and that's where my skepticism
Mike
with the
was
government
doing
comes in.
Which
that
is
part.
true. Which is well, I mean, to keep us from what? Tyranny.
Yes, tyranny.
Partly.
Of the government. Yeah.
Okay.
Partly.
But also from any type of threat or
be it a
invasion.
foreign
it
militia.
doesn't matter.
Well, and that's more to the point,
Yeah.
because the reason that the militia part was put in there was because there were two factions in the establishment of the government
The redcoats.
that wanted a standing army,
Yeah.
and those that did not. Washington and his cadre thought a standing army was a good thing. And everybody else said, no, we don't want a standing army. We don't want to pay for it. We don't want to support it. That's why one of the other amendments is that you don't have to put soldiers up in your house.
Because they used to just take your house
Exactly. So when we talk about the establishment of the militia, it was in a replacement of the standing army.
They have their own homes.
right? So when you look at it in that aspect, if you look at it from that side, then the militia takes on a whole different meaning. It's no longer self-preservation.
Yeah.
Right?
It's organized.
It is.
If you guys have no idea what he's talking about, Google Gettysburg someday and do some reading. Because you learn this in like high school.
Right.
Just in case you guys don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
But I'm not
I
a
had
constitutional scholar either. You know,
I
you go
know.
back to the guys that say, though, the Constitution's a living document.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side that says, no, it's either there or it's not, period.
Right.
Well, they keep adding to it.
That's okay.
Well, and
How many thousands of amendments do we have on that thing now?
We don't. So that, the U.S. Constitution has 24 amendments.
Yeah. I mean, they changed
I thought
laws.
they kept adding them on.
Well, they add and take away laws.
Well, but
here.
remember,
Yeah.
in order to amend the Constitution, you also need 2/3 of the states to ratify it. So they don't
Sweet.
happen
Yeah,
very
good
often.
luck. Yeah.
Sorry, Zig.
No,
Take over
I
with
was
my-
letting you go. I was pulling something else up. So you feel free.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Well, that's
good-
why the
you're good to go.
California Constitution's about 8,000 pages.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Constitution is like 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a lot
Because we
harder
can't
to
get our
amend.
shit together because nobody wants to agree on anything.
Well, that's part of it. But the other thing is, I mean, if you think of it in that term,
Yeah.
it takes the majority of the people to actually modify that document.
yeah.
A lot of what's on the California books is actually still old Spanish laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of water laws are based off of Spanish laws.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
why
like,
women
what?
have no equality. Right? The Equal Rights Amendment was never passed.
Are
It
we
was never
go-
ratified.
Are we going maritime law on this bitch? Is that what we're doing here? Because let's do it.
I defer.
That's law at sea for all of you out there that have no idea what the fuck I just said. The maritime, like out at sea. Figured I'd let you know.
That's where it's like legal to gamble.
Oh yeah, international. You can do anything you want in international waters, technically.
I'm still trying.
You're still,
I'm-
okay, so we
I'm
got to dance some more,
scanning-
Jordy.
All right.
I'm scanning this this whole deal here because I had one with Lynch, Loretta Lynch. She's the Attorney General. I had another good one. Yeah, I know. Jeez, right? Oh, Jesus, dude. She's another fucking.
Yep.
You know, her and Barbara Boxer, and then who's the other fucking broad in California?
Feinstein.
Feinstein.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Stinky.
What the? What the fuck, man? Is it what plan?
Yeah,
And
I've seen-
I have no
I've seen
idea
some
why
stuff
people
she
keep
said
vote
that's like-
for these fucking people. And then you got Brown in office. Holy shit!
Edmund.
Damn it, man.
Junior.
Nice. Oh yeah,
Okay,
I was
let
going
me
to say
see.
something when you were talking about the borders. When Bush was governor of Texas, he had like a pretty open border. I mean, there's still security, there's still border patrol and all that stuff. They do checks and searches, but they had a really good economy in several towns where people just go crossing the border pretty freely. And I think that was a good example of how you don't have ISIS running over the border because of that. Of course, back then ISIS didn't exist yet.
Yeah,
we
I
had
was gonna say, that
Taliban.
was-
Okay, so here I got it. This is Lynch. Okay, we're in the middle of that conversation. We always are. Lynch said we were talking about the terrible San Bernardino shooting. Now, a week ago, we were talking about Planned Parenthood in Colorado, the use of assault-style weapons in Wednesday's horrific attacks in San Bernardino, California, has prompted a fresh national conversation conversation of the lack of strict gun control measures in the U.S. that could that prevent potential terrorists from acquiring firearms. Okay, which was what? If you're gonna make it limited for them and keep them from it, who are you limiting?
They're the law-abiding citizens.
Us. Okay. On Sunday night, Obama is scheduled to give a national address in which he will provide an update on Wednesday's shootings, which killed 14 and wounded 21. Okay, that is 35 people. Okay, 14 dead. And discuss the broader threat of ISIS and plans of to combat the group. This is where it gets interesting. I think what you're going to hear from him is a discussion about what government is doing to ensure all of the highest priority, the protection of the American people. Lynn said during her interview when asked about Obama. Authorities say a married couple, a 20-year-old American-born man and a 29-year-old woman originally from Pakistan, were responsible that the woman had pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group on Facebook as it went on their rampage.
What
Now,
about the
mind
third
you,
guy?
Just
He was
anyways.
handpicked. Just
Did
did
they-
what his wife
did they
told
cut
him.
him out of history?
The chick was already
Pussy.
on
No balls.
Facebook prior. See, what they did is they said on Facebook as they went on the rampage. That is not true.
Yeah.
She was posting this shit on fucking Facebook well in advance of this. And everybody's like, whatever. And you know goddamn well the fucking, the government's sitting there reading our texts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They're reading our
They've read some
Facebook
really
bullshit.
dirty shit in my case.
Right. Yeah, and Vijay's,
TMI,
it's
Jordy.
porn.
Just saying, I like girls.
Right. So Lynch, however, also warned Americans not to assume that the attack was specifically inspired or planned by ISIS militants in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Because you fucking knew that when she was posting that shit on fucking Facebook. We do see these encouragements for troubled individuals. Okay.
Trouble,
Do you
yeah.
see that? Do you see what they're doing?
Yeah.
That for troubled individuals to pick up a gun and act out of this ideology. Again, not sure which one they picked in this case, despite the media accounts, Lynch said. The FBI said Friday that it was officially investigating the attacks as acts of terrorism. You know why? Because the FBI fucking knew goddamn well it was a terrorist act. But Lynch wanted to downplay everything. So did Obama.
It had domestic terrorism too, because the third guy was plotting and planning all kinds of shit.
It doesn't mention the third guy, but I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, and I know where you're going, yes. Nevertheless, Lynch said she would caution people not to try to define either of these two individuals right now. Okay? So what you're basically saying is like you're going, okay, well, no, that's not what they were. It's just a random act. No, because you know what? Because what they're doing is they're sitting there and they're hiding
Buying
the
time,
fact.
yeah.
And they're buying time. They're hiding the fact of the true meaning that it is. They are here.
Yeah.
Here in the United States. Obviously, we have concerns whenever we see people who have large stockpiles of weapons or appear. Right? Right? Now, Mike, now here's the deal. And this is where they lump it into people like Mike, me, Jordy, and GWV.
And every...
I don't know what his Gandalf stockpile is, but here's what they lump it in. And obviously, we have concerns whenever we see people who have large stockpiles of weapons or appear to be in the process of accumulating weapons and ammunition, she said. But added that...
Yeah, that's every law enforcement officer in this state.
Yeah, with this new law, it's going to be everybody.
At this point, we do not have any evidence that they were part of either a large group or cell. Bullshit!
They had tons of phone conversations and all kinds of
they
stuff.
Knew goddamn well. And here's what they do. Then they fucking sit there and they hide that shit and they candy coat that shit.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit their agenda.
This
doesn't fit their agenda of let's disarm the public.
I am back. You can call me some I don't know, a conspiracy
crazy person?
theorist. I'm a nutcase, whatever it is. But I am outside of what you guys said, I'm less afraid of my government, turning and then taking over and making it like a Hitler fucking thing than I am a foreign invasion. They're already here.
Oh, not me. I'm way more afraid of my government.
I'm just saying.
There's another aspect of everything.
They're all assholes.
It's okay.
Well, but see,
we're here to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But now you're pulling in
hate
religious
you.
stuff too, because now there's like the religious extremism aspect. Because
and fuck religion.
both of those incidents, the other one that you
I'll
mentioned,
second that.
the one where they did the
I'm an atheist.
shit, what was the other shooting? But that
one
one
in
there was
San
a bunch of-
Bernardino,
one
Little
in
Rock,
Florida?
or whatever.
the one in Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, and that
Columbine.
one you had all
Columbine,
these preachers like speaking out for the shooter, saying like, "Oh, well, he was doing God's work and shit like that," because they think they're trying to prevent abortions. I'm not talking about Columbine.
Oh.
you're talking about the Planned Parenthood.
Yes,
attack.
that one.
Yeah.
I just brain farted on Planned Parenthood.
It's okay.
Yeah, you did.
We all hit the wall once on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, well, hopefully next time it's your head that hits the wall that we won't have to go through that again.
Go ahead, man. Come on. That's fucking good. I have a really quick one. Now, illness. Do you know that
time he says
just
that,
to
not
say in
quick.
America? Now, mind you, I did say that the average the ratio of firearms in the United States is one firearm per every person in the United States.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Why did I say excuse me? I never really.
So just let you know the reason.
So now, there's the ratio. Now check this out. Now deaths. Okay. Now I'm like again. I'm just pulling stuff up that I pulled up. Okay. The highest was illness. 2,404,054.
That seems reasonable.
Now, non-gun violence. 24,936. Auto. 35,612.
Ooh.
Auto. Let me get to the end.
No, you're not talking about automatic rifles. You're talking about automobiles.
Yeah, automobiles. Guy. Did you invite this fucking...
I didn't. No, don't put it on me.
Hey, we got lots of listeners.
Hey, you invited him.
Overdose. 35,063.
Damn, y'all need to control your shit, boys.
Other injuries.
The drugs are so
good. All they said was other 65,866. Guns. 33,636. Okay. So if 35,612 were auto, and then 33,636. Now, an auto is something that we drive
almost
every day.
everybody.
Every day.
We should ban automobiles.
Yep. All I know is that the automobile is not anywhere in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or anything.
I just want to ban assault cars.
Can you bring that up for me, Mike? They don't have carriages inside there. Free to drive your carriage.
And terrorists still
Or you
do
can be
use
like,
autos, too.
yeah,
But
I'll drive a motorcycle.
Not designed to kill people.
Drive motorcycles.
Unless you run them over.
I said
Fucking
it's not
Mike, it's not drive
designed
motorcycles,
to
you
do
asshole.
that.
It's ride motorcycles. Stop saying that shit.
Who's driving motorcycles?
But now, I mean, I can think about it. So,
Mike,
you know,
that Mike.
that's, I mean, 33,636 is when you're looking at how many people in the United States. I don't know, but
about 400 million.
I'm sure it's a lot more than that.
That was the last time I looked.
Why do you have your finger in your eyeball?
Because I got something in my eye and it's like bugging the shit
Dude,
out
that's
of me.
grossing me the fuck out, dude. It looks like you're trying to pull your
Can you put the
eyeball out.
YouTube camera and do a close-up on him while he does this?
Yeah, let's get on it.
Eye porn.
All right, so I mean, anything, Mike? Because I keep looking at Merica Mike, and you can see he wants to say something.
He always looks like he's got something on his mind.
Well, yeah.
Because he's more knowledgeable on this subject than all of us.
No. No, I really don't have much more to add. I mean, the point, we go back to the numbers, right? Depending on how many of whatever is out there, and you don't know what the source of the incidence is, 30 some odd thousand deaths from gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
Proportionally, it's small, but compared to other places, it's high.
It's still a number that we'd like to reduce, too.
Absolutely.
Because that's people's lives.
Right.
I was a little
But
bit
as
off.
long as I can go, drive 4 hours to Phoenix and pick up a 30 magazine clip and come back and put it into my 10
I'd say that's the place to get it.
Okay,
It was 323.1 million at the end of last year.
I've got a question for you guys.
I was a little
Okay,
high.
there's one city that has the most strict gun laws, but it has the highest gun.
Oh, that's the
And
way
they have a movie coming out about it.
That's Chicago.
Think about
Whoops,
that.
I got the wrong one then.
Think about that. Okay, so now can you guys tell me what state has the least gun laws, restrictions, and has the least amount of crime?
Texas.
Montana.
I'm going with what Mike said. Because there still is a lot of crime in Texas.
Although, in
They're
Atlanta,
crazy
you
down
can
there.
go walk into Cabela's and buy anything you want and walk out of it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty lax back there, too, but I don't know what their shooting statistics are.
Florida's kind of lax, but they do
Montana,
have a lot.
everybody-
Dude, Florida's where all the
Nobody
fucking
shoots
crazy people
anybody.
go.
Yep.
All the
Always.
crazy
Well,
stories.
look
come
at
out of
the picture of the map there.
Uh-huh. There's a
I
correlation
don't
for
wanna be
where
in
it's
Florida.
hotter. But another thing about the stats that you had about illness, which is a very, very broad category, but that could include heart disease and diabetes and all kinds of diet-related stuff. So you could make an argument that food is more lethal than guns.
And now, here's
double cheeseburgers
How
killed.
many people choke to death? I mean, there's a statistic for it.
Yeah.
I made a post that when I first talked about this show, and it's funny that everybody that I had well over a few hundred responses, and some were to other people's responses, but is absolutely amazing.
The trolls.
That one of the persons that is so liberal and so anti-gun, how they call people names. I never called if you were an anti,
Becomes
if
personal.
you were anti-gun, I don't care. I don't care, because you know what? Even if and I know I posted this the thing earlier. Well, that my neighbor is an anti-gun activist. So if
Really?
you go and you read, I'll read it to you. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty common. People
But-
assign a certain name, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, people have that perception. Like the scientific community does it to anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
And
So
climate
and
deniers.
this is how that liberal type of thinking, the California typical liberal thinking goes. She says you conveniently ignore a well-regulated militia. It should be very plain.
Oh, this chick.
Listen.
I read all these.
Okay?
I remember
You
this one.
conveniently ignore a well-regulated militia. It should be very plain to understand, even to ignorant gun fanatics. The language is quite clear. Common sense government regulations certainly fall under this purview.
That was my problem with that comment. Was common sense and government don't go in the same goddamn sense.
Yeah,
just like
and,
common
be
sense gun
specific.
laws,
What is
common sense
sense?
immigration laws. There's no common sense fucking laws.
Well, and then we go back to well-regulated militia and what the Supreme Court said. And this held on for about 150 years.
Yeah.
Was that the courts found that the first part, the militia clause, trumped the second part, the bear arms clause. In other words, according to the Supreme Court and the lower courts as well, the amendment conferred on state militias a right to bear arms, but did not give individuals a right to own or carry a weapon. Okay, so that's based on the initial interpretation of the Constitution as written.
So we would be serving in an organized militia
Exactly.
to earn our right to have a gun.
Correct. Now, part of the concept here is that if we're going to be the army, right, because the militia is taking place of the standing army, then we need to have weapons which are sufficient to combat the oncoming force. So that now kind of takes the assault rifle argument away, right, because we need to have commensurate armaments. Okay, but then what happened is in '77, when Scalia, it was a District of Columbia versus Heller, and I don't remember what the specifics of that case were, but they decided. So in 1977, the NRA started pushing the whole concept of the Second Amendment as being a right to bear arms, that you can walk around with a gun, you can conceal, you can do whatever you want to. And what happened was Scalia authored an opinion. In the 18th century, militias were proto-military operations, and their members had to obtain the best military hardware of the day. But Scalia could not create, in the 21st century, an individual right to contemporary military weapons, like tanks and Stinger missiles. So in light of this, right, Scalia conjured a rule that said DC could not ban handguns because handguns are the most popular weapon chosen by Americans for self-defense in the home, and a complete prohibition of their use is invalid.
Nice.
Right? But he couldn't get it.
But didn't they ban them in DC?
Yeah, that's what Heller was about. And it went to the Supreme Court. And what they ended up with was you cannot ban handguns.
Yeah.
But that opened the door to everything that was happening with rifles.
Kind of backfired on them,
Well,
so to
much.
speak.
Yeah.
So the thing is, let's go to an image of a rifle. Mike,
You want to pull down a chart?
Can I hunt with this rifle?
You bet.
Thank you. Yes, I can. Now, what you're doing is you're looking at, because your typical person sees a hunting rifle.
Yeah, you're not going to
as-
use a 223. You're going to use a 5.56 if you're hunting with that bad boy.
You know, and it does the same thing. It doesn't matter.
You just got to be a
This
lot
one
more accurate.
does the same as this one, as the same as this one, as the same as this one. This one does the same as this one, as Mike the
270.
The 270. Dylan shot that one, dude.
Talk about a shoulder vein.
He had the butt away from his shoulder.
That was a mistake.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
You didn't tell him ahead of time?
Oh, we did. We all told him because even I told him.
You tuck that sucker in and you hold on.
I go,
for dear
dude,
life.
I just shot that. I go, you better put that against your shoulder. And sure enough, he didn't put it against your shoulder. Because even when I had it against my shoulder, I was like, oh, fine, I got hurt.
I've seen the YouTube videos where people are just recording somebody doing
yeah.
something dumb and nobody says anything. I'm like, how could you let her do that?
'Cause
Not
you're
that
on
it's only
YouTube
on women,
videos.
but yeah.
And which goes back to the idiots where we talk about, you know, the stupid incidents with firearms.
Right.
Because of lack of education you know, and people thinking it's fucking funny.
Well,
I don't think anything about a firearm is funny.
Yeah.
I just don't. You know, I'm not going to sit there and make a joke of anything about a firearm. I don't. When we went to the range with Mike, before anybody pulled anything out, Mike said, look at this guy.
What? I'm listening. I'm waiting to see what you're going to say.
He's like,
Okay,
ready.
let me erase. Let me put it in reverse. Before anybody pulled out any firearms.
Thank you.
Guy. Mike said, okay, he set down some rules.
Yeah.
We need to abide by these rules. We need to make sure that all of us are a safe, controlled environment.
Yeah.
You know, and these rules don't get bent. The same rules that when I start a range, the motorcycle training, these rules don't get broken. They don't get bent. Right?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yep.
You know, Mike, when everyone is ready to fire, what do you say?
Ready on the line.
Okay. When you want to go out and check your target, what do you say?
Cease fire.
Very good.
Put them down. Open the action.
And all guns are like this. All the magazines are pulled out. The guns are just like this, and they're set down, and it's not anybody's hands. All rifles are set in an upright position. Period. All right, and that's how it works. You know, so now I'm sure we can take a huge percentage of those, like you guys said. Oh, look, all the YouTube videos. I'm going to shoot a shotgun like this. I'm going to have it in front of my face like it's a rifle, and like right out in front of me. How many of those do you see?
Too many.
You know, okay. Let me just, you know. Well, you remember that tooth that's bothering you? Yeah, just put the gun right there. It'll knock that tooth out.
Yeah.
Fucking people. So one of the things I says, my next door neighbor wants to ban all guns. Their house is not armed.
Put up a sign in your front yard.
out of respect for their opinions, I promise not to use my guns to protect them. I just thought it was funny.
That's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
I loved it.
You know what I mean?
My old neighbor that just moved out of the house next door. Oh fuck, she was like that.
I'd still use
Really?
guns to protect him if I could.
I would. I don't care how much you've sat there and tried to diss me and what I believe in. It's like religion.
I mean, I'd throw a gun.
I don't
into
care.
her house.
If Merica Mike walks up to my door, knocks on my door, and starts trying to talk to me about Jehovah Witness or whatever, well, I'm going to tell him, hey, you know what? I just don't fly with that. I'm not going to slam the door in their face and tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
I said, look, you know what? Actually, I get into conversations with them. Actually, there's a lot of fun when it's religion. But anyway, but you see what I mean? I'm not close to it.
Yeah.
It's just hey, I'm not going to dish you because you believe a certain way. But if there was if your family was in jeopardy, I would be there.
Oh yeah.
No matter what your beliefs were, I would be there for you and your family.
Well, unfortunately, all of my neighbors know I own at least one handgun.
Let me see.
Don't ask why.
Hey!
No.
Hey, watch live.
No, I mean, somebody kicked in my front door when I was at home.
Oh, nice.
I remember that. Yeah. Home invasion. Go ahead. Tell us about that one. I remember.
Yeah. No, somebody knocked on my door, and then I was sick. It happened to be I was sick in bed. That was the only reason I was home and not at the gym. But I was sick, and somebody knocked at the door, and I went, "Oh, son of a gun!" It's like Sunday. I'm thinking, I'm not getting out of bed sick as hell to go talk to Jehovah's Witnesses. And so, like 20 minutes later, I got another knock at the door, and I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch, another set." So then, like 2-3 minutes later, there was another knock at the door, and at this point, I had grabbed my handgun and put a clip in it, and I started walking towards the front door, and they kicked the front door in. Needless to say, they didn't come back.
Hell yeah!
Now,
They
did you fire at them?
No, they did not fire at him at all.
And then, you know, people like to say that, you know, oh, you know, if there's a firearm in the house, it's unsafe. Okay.
I live alone, just to let everybody know.
1993, I was dating a woman, and she was the ex of a coworker.
Oh,
and now her and her son were at my house. So now I had firearms, you know, but when she came over with her son, what did I do with my firearms? I put them up.
Yeah.
I unloaded them and I put them up. So there was no ifs or buts about that child being harmed by one of my firearms. I couldn't live with that.
I've made that mistake with an adult, a girl that came over to my house. She lays in my bed. She goes, "What the hell is that?" And I go, "Oh, fuck." I left my loaded 9mm in my bed.
Oh, that's not good.
No, not at all. I was like,
just some of your dick.
it was one of those, don't fucking move. Just don't move. Don't touch it. Whatever it is, just get off. Because I knew what it was.
So this
that was not the safest gun.
So now this guy has been stewing over this whole thing about, you know, me dating his ex.
Oh.
And decides to, and now she went to bed with her son. I was up watching a movie, and I ended up falling asleep on the couch. Well, this guy kicks open my front door, and I had my porch light on, and when I seen the silhouette, I seen a knife in one hand.
Oh shit!
And I just seen the silhouette, but you can tell it was not a knife. But my firearm was where?
Locked up and put away.
Because I was making sure that it was safe environment for a child.
Yeah.
And of course, the result was me being stabbed twice in my lung. And obviously that's where I got this scar on my face too. So, people need to be able to defend themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bottom line, because it does happen. And if you become complacent to the point where, oh, this can never happen to me.
Yeah.
This can never happen to the United States.
It actually just happened to a friend of mine. Somebody just kicked, just like you were saying, just coming right through the front door, and she had hers, and she pointed at him, and he took off running.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She didn't have to shoot.
Did you know that I went, I was online, I was trying to find, and it didn't matter how I phrased it, about, law-abiding citizens being in whether someone's breaking into their home or whatever. I was trying to use different phrases, and I couldn't find anything as far as percentage-wise versus murders to justify how how many people that actually were defending themselves against either a home invasion or at a store or whatever.
Right, it's a shooting or a shooting, and there's no reason, no statistics.
They just lumped it into gun.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
incidences.
The numbers I had.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Could not find it. Why do you think I can't find that?
Because nobody cares.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, they just want to lump it in. It's an issue with a gun.
Yeah.
It's an issue with a gun. Guns are bad. I did a post that I posted a picture of gang members, and I said, this is what the media and anti-gun politicians want you to believe that anybody with a firearm is.
Yep.
Okay? But outside of that being that, no, this is what we are trying to protect ourselves from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I was a gang member. I did live that life. And I know how the gang member thinks. And they don't care.
No, they don't follow the rules that you set for us.
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't. And you know what they're doing when they're if they're watching TV, I'm sure they're not watching this, but let's just say that you had, maybe you had a gangster and they was watching this, and then you had this politician like DeLeon. We need to ban, guns. Nobody needs firearms. They're
applauding and jumping up in the air.
Oh yeah, they're partying. Yeah. Shit, grab 40s on me. Not 40 caliber. We're talking 40s.
Right. Yeah.
Well, both.
40s. All right. That's how that works.
Yeah, once you start taking away guns, they go black market and people still have them. Just now it's more of the wrong people.
Yeah.
The ones that you don't want are actually going to be empowered by that. Because it's easier to get on black market.
Well, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
The bad guys will always get them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't know where to buy a black market gun.
Neither would I. Well,
I mean, there's a neighborhood that I know that I grew up in that I
It's
could
not
probably
hard to
find
find,
out.
yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if you regulate the criminals, now you're actually doing something. Do something to reduce the violence.
so basically, if you regulate the bottom line tonight, guys, if you regulate the law-abiding citizen, what you do is you unregulate even more the criminal. Does anybody have anything that's going to defunct what I just said?
No, actually, the study that I was just about to go into kind of brings that up.
We got 5 minutes.
Perfect segue.
Yeah, so it compares the quote-unquote gun control group versus the right to carry group. And it is a study by the Center for Juvenile and Criminal Justice. And they say that, let's see here, the present study compares statistically these two contrasting approaches according to the methodological recommendations published by National Academy of Sciences Research Panel. And the results provisionally suggest that personal protection, aka right to carry, laws may reduce both gun homicide rates and total homicide rates. Homicide, I know I said that wrong. Whereas traditional gun control policies do not detectably affect either outcome. However, the present study also observes that neither type of measure was originally designed to protect the public against the presently emerging and more deadly threat posed by armed and mentally ill.
Go ahead, Mike. Why are you looking at me?
I'm waiting to see what the next comment's going to be.
I talk enough.
So, I mean, really, to sum that up is just basically, kind of what Zig was saying. The more you regulate the law-abiding citizens to not be able to protect themselves, the more the criminal citizens' violence and gun rates go up because they know that we can't protect ourselves as law-abiding citizens.
Mm-hmm. It's a sitting duck scenario.
Yeah, pretty much.
Easy targets.
Which, I mean, you can find articles for either side as far as you could probably find articles out there that say, oh, if everybody owns a gun, then gun violence still goes up, things like that. But
well, there was one comment after, I don't remember if it was after 9/11, but they were saying, yeah, just issue everybody a gun when they get on a plane and collect them when they get off.
Oh, that's a horrible idea.
Actually,
well, sure it is, but the sentiment is there. If everybody is protecting everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The bad guys can't do what they need. The bad guys can't do
what they
intend to. Right.
Yeah, I think in Canada, they actually have more guns per capita or something similar to us, and they don't have the same crime problems as us.
No, they actually don't. I did look that up, but they
okay.
don't per
that's because moose don't shoot back.
Right? But, you know, we had other people chime in. Cody, which is one of my, my friends.
I like his last name. Barrett.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Beret. But everybody, thanks for chiming in tonight. Remember that the right to bear arms is why they call it the Bill of Rights, and is your right. If anybody can tell me a reason why I should not have this right and make it a fact and make me understand it, I will be more than happy to oblige and relinquish my firearm. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Nope.
But I'm willing for anyone to listen. This is not going to be the last segment. We are going to continue with this. Obviously, I'm going to have Merica Mike as part of this whole show because obviously Mike did his homework.
Yeah, and by the way, did you read that second paragraph right there?
I did not, but go ahead. You're free to.
It says, of all the murders in the U.S. in 2012, and this was the most recent statistic I could find, 60% were by firearms, compared to a 31% in Canada, 18.2% in Australia, and just 10% in the U.K.
Mm-hmm.
And
but that's percent versus total numbers again, too.
Right.
Like, what are we comparing?
Right. But firearm murders, right, are much higher here because of the plethora of firearms that we have available.
Well, now here's the thing. They also call it murder. Okay? If you break into my home and I shoot you and I kill you, that's not murder.
Right.
That's self-defense.
That is not murder.
Right.
See, it's the phrasing.
But California
this
will try to
is
press that on
murder.
you.
This is bad guys.
Oh, okay. I thought it was lumped into the entire.
No, that's my point.
Bad guys.
It's the bad guys.
Yeah.
Good. You see what I'm saying? So we're not wrong here. But they do use the phrasing which we were talking about earlier. Like there was a gentleman that died on Angeles Crest Highway on Saturday.
Yeah.
And what it said is that motorcyclist was killed.
Yeah. How does somebody get killed in a single person?
He didn't
crash?
get killed. He died.
Yeah.
He made a bad decision, or he was riding over his ability. He died. He wasn't killed. See, what they do is they lump.
Yeah.
Now, when people see the word killed and they see motorcycle,
they always killed by a motorcycle.
You see how that works? That's how the media works, and it's all in the phrasing.
Yep.
Media wouldn't lie to us.
Yeah, not at all.
Hey, go Fox yourself, bro.
So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Stick around for the Ray and Jimmy thing. I know that later on this week, on Friday, I'm going to be attending Roy's wedding.
Nice.
Congratulations, Roy.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Roy.
Here's to the rest of the end of your life.
And it's funny because, Roy and Jimmy, are they even here?
I can hear people
Yeah,
talking.
they're here.
Okay, it's funny because Roy and Jimmy, they never know what what they come in after my show.
Yeah.
We've had snakes. We've had bands that have TP'd the entire studio. We've had people throwing up. And then now we're walking out with firearms. These guys. But they love sharing the same night as a Zig Zone. Anyways, guys. Oh, is that Dianthus?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Dianthus. They were on the show last week. Love them. Make sure you go on Dianthus. What is it? Dianthus on official. So, anyways, look them up. Anyways, thanks again, Mike.
Always a pleasure.
Coming in, and we got a baseball game coming up.
Yes, we do.
Very nice. Thanks again, Jordy, for joining.
You know I love you, brother.
All right, love you too, man. And of course, GWV.
Thanks for having me.
And Gandalf.
Everybody needs the special.
Everybody have a great night. Remember, practice and support your rights. That's why they were given to you. And this one right here is your right. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to practice my right. You guys have a good night.
The haze within your hazel eyes, tell me a tale I can recognize. Rumors stagger like steel swords, building walls I'd have to climb. Your face frame of mind, silent scream of mine. When I'm weak I cannot speak, I'm running on empty. Not I should be. Are you near me? Am I breathing? I'm trying to find what has been broken within you. Can you see me? Do you fear me? I'm trying to find the person I once thought I knew. Don't search for what you know is lost. It's a line you always seem to cross. Catch you wake up, look into my eyes. Don't become what you despise. No face frame of mind, silent scream of mine. When I'm weak I cannot speak.